From all the considerations we went through during the earlier days, it would have been noticed that the adventure of spiritual life, yoga sadhana, is not anyone's individual affair. There is no such thing as I shall do sadhana, because sadhana is the very process of eliminating this I. So I cannot do sadhana. Further, the great relationships that our so-called personality has with all things in the world, as has been noticed by us earlier, prevents us from entertaining any such notion as that the achievement of yoga is the fulfillment of an individual purpose. It is not for my salvation, it is not for your salvation, because the my is only an adjective of I, and you is a correlative of the I. So when one thing goes, all the three go. Just as there is no such thing as my sadhana, there is no such thing also as my salvation. Because if you persist in your old habit of thinking that you are engaged in spiritual practice for your liberation, great problems will face you later on which are unsurmountable in nature. Because the age-old question will arise, harassing the minds of everyone: when I attain salvation, what happens to other people who have not attained salvation? If again you persist in your foolishness that the others are there and you are quite free in the highest heaven in the state of liberation, you will face another difficulty. That is to say, in your omniscience attained in salvation, you will behold outside you many bound souls who have not yet attained salvation. When you can see something external to you, totally unconnected with you, unliberated, related to a liberated perception, then that would not be salvation. Because already it has been pointed out that salvation is the attainment of the infinite, where one sees nothing else, hears nothing else, and visualizes nothing else. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sabhuma tadeva amritam. The immortal is sufficient to itself, and it does not require the perception of somebody else. But your omniscience in salvation would naturally present before you the whole world of unbound, unliberated souls, bound jivas. So your contradiction in your present worldly life will persist even in salvation. So it would be better not to attain salvation than be in the earth itself. If that is the predicament, you will find yourself in your moksha. These things are not simple things that you can just bypass. This confusion in your mind that will persist till the end of your achievement will block up your vision one day or the other, and you will be like Trishanku hanging between the earth and the heaven, neither here nor there, totally confused, neither in this world nor in any other place. Obstacles in meditation are supposed to be many. These obstacles do not come from anybody else. They come from your own misconceptions about your own self and your relationship to other people, your wrong notion of God, immortality, and salvation. Discrimination, viveka, which is supposed to be a prerequisite quality of the practice of sadhana, clarifies this position and it enables you to distinguish between what is proper and improper, what is right and what is not, what is real and what is unreal. Each one of you present here should deeply probe into your own heart. Raise this question to your own self. For whose sake am I doing spiritual practice? As mentioned, it cannot be for your own personal purpose. If not, then whose purpose? Are you engaged in yoga practice for the freedom of your wife and children? If not, is it only for yourself? If that is not the case, then whose is the salvation? Let each one privately answer this question to one's own self. Once again, I request you to remember what I have told you on earlier days. Many of the things might have passed beyond your mind now, because I do not know if any one of you is concentratedly listening to what is being said and taking down notes in your little diary of crucial points that have been raised and presented in a proper manner. Otherwise, if you just listen and bestow no attention and later on cannot remember, your sitting will be of little benefit. We are not crying hoarse here because we have no other work to do. It is the benefit of all people. And if it is merely a listening to a discourse and there is nothing more about it, then it will be a futile exercise on our part and your part also. But let it not be so. It is an energizing process, a vitalizing process, a soul filling process, a refilling of ourselves, which is the process, and becoming something more than what we are, which is the process of spiritual practice. Every session should make you feel a little better than what you were previously. Not that you will be same person for all the days and you go back in the same way as you came. Same railway train to come and same railway train to go. And same person to come and same person to go. This is not the purpose of your coming here and attending to these lessons. So be careful about this matter. Nothing can be so serious as your own freedom. If you are not sufficiently attentive to it, then to what else will you bestow your attention? Your freedom is the only thing that you are seeking in all the walks of life. Everywhere you have found some kind of limitation, bondage, and insufficiency that you want to be rid of. For that purpose, you have come to listen to certain methods of practice by which you will be able to free yourself from tangles of wrong associations with things in the world. With these clarifications in your mind, gird up your loins for the practice of meditation, which is finally over. The essentials of the practice of meditation, they are fundamentals. They have already been mentioned earlier and their foundation has already been laid. If this foundation has been strong, then it is easy to build the superstructure of the further stages of the yoga practice. I mentioned yesterday that in the beginning you relax yourself from all connections, social as well as psychological. Then regain yourself in a relaxed position and occupy any posture that is convenient to you. What is suitable to you as a posture is to be chosen each by oneself. One's method may not suit another's method, and so on. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Easy, comfortable, fixed posture is what is prescribed. It should be easy. Prayatna Shaithilya. Ananta Samapatibhya. Liberation of personal tension of effort. Relaxation of the tension of the muscles and the nerves. And an easy mental position is the beginning, the initial step of meditational techniques. On what do you meditate? Again, I dilate upon what I mentioned to you briefly earlier. That is the object of your meditation, which is the dearest, nearest, most beloved, incomparable in its beauty, magnificence, and the power to fulfill. Maybe that you have a chosen form in your mind, an image of a god, of an idol, of a portrait, of a diagram, of a concept. Again, answer a question to your own self. Is this diagram, this image, this lingam or idol or portrait my dearest object in the world? You will hesitate to say that this is the dearest. How can a portrait be the dearest object in the world? Not any kind of chosen object of this kind can finally be the dearest thing which you can hug forever and ever. Because you have other dear things in the world. Who can say they are not there? Now, prepare yourself for another adventure. It is certainly true that this ideal that you have chosen, a form that you have selected for your meditation, is certainly the dearest. It cannot equal any other beauty or magnificence in the world because of one central fact. This particular ideal that you have chosen for your meditation is a passage to the widest expanse of infinite fulfillment. This personality or idealized individuality of the chosen object is a representation of infinite forces penetrating it, charging it, connecting it with all creation. If you tap one object to the deepest core of its being, you have topmost level of the universe has been tapped. The whole world will vibrate by the stroke that you have dealt on a little object of your meditation. The stroke is a mental stroke of tremendous attention and unsurpassed concentration, a bombardment that you are engaged in upon this object. Bombard it by repeated concentration and attention and prevent any kind of distraction by a repetition of the belief that this is all in all for me because here is a door to the infinite resources of the cosmos. The door may not be the infinite, but it is a passage leading you to the richest treasure of cosmic attainment. Then all the dear things in the world will converge into that object. As the apex of a triangle, if it is invertedly positioned, expands its compass further and further as it advances towards its base. Likewise, imagine in your meditation that this object that you have chosen for your meditation is the apex of an inverted triangle. Because even if it is a pinpoint of the apex of the triangle at the base, it has the seed of developing itself into the wider dimensions of the base of the triangle, which can extend itself to infinitude, to all space. Imagine a triangle which is as big as this whole world, not a little Euclidean geometrical triangle that you draw on your mathematical notebook. This triangle is as big as you can conceive in the whole world. And the point in the inverted position is the object of meditation. Proceed further for the sake of your satisfaction that the whole tree of the universe will rise up from this little seed of the apex of the inverted triangle. This will give you great joy. The whole banyan of the cosmic tree is here in front of me in the position of a little dot of the object of concentration for the purpose of my easy concentration, because at the very outset it will be difficult for the mind to encompass the whole thing at one stroke. So the choosing of an idol is not a foolish thing. It is the touching of the cosmos at one point. All the points in the universe are everywhere. Therefore, this point that you have chosen for your meditation also is a representation of all the points that are everywhere in the world. So you have touched the whole creation by touching this little object of your meditation, even if it be a wooden idol, a stone image, or a triangle imaginarily placed before you by your mind, or anything for the matter of that, a portrait of a God himself, as you would like to have it. These detailed descriptions of what is going to happen to you at the beginning of your meditational process will raise your spirits at once. You will not sit for meditation with a brooding, despondent mood. Maybe or may not be. That question will not arise. It shall, it must, and it has to come. Because I have rightly chosen the method. I have understood the whole method of attuning my mind to my purpose. Thus, concentrate your mind on anything that you have chosen for your Ishta Devata. It is Ishta because you love it incomparably and infinitely. It is a Devata, a divinity, because it is the adored God before you. Why is it a God? Because it is a mini God who will manifest itself into the infinite God. It is a little incarnation of the Vishwarupa of the Almighty in the form of this little lingam, this picture, this portrait, this point on the wall, this rose flower, this candle flame, whatever it is. So anything in the world is good enough for the matter of that for meditation. If that is the place, yeah, case of this matter, any place in the world also is good enough. All things are good enough, and therefore all places also are equally good enough. But you should not be frightened whether this is so or not. Doubts tempt us like traitors, insinuating themselves into our heart and seeing to it that we do not succeed. The whisper of the negative force continuously will be heard by you together with your higher aspirations. Rama and Ravana are inside us. Rama will be speaking and Ravana also will be speaking at the same time. The positive and the negative are working together. The Daiva Asura Sampatti is within our own selves, as is described in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The pros and cons of every event in the world scintillates within our personality. The entire history of humanity is shining forth within us. The whole Ramayana, all the epics of the world, Iliad, Odyssey, Mahabharata, they are all taking place within us. They have taken place, they are taking place, they shall be taking place also. Eternally, the epic movement is an eternal process. It is not something that happened earlier in ancient historical times. Mahabharata took place. It is eternally taking place. Just now at this very moment also. These stories are eternal descriptions of the cosmic process perpetually taking place in a timeless manner. You must lecture to your own self. This is so, this is so, this is so. As you repeat a prayer again and again, repeat these descriptions to your own self, even if it be through an audio tape. It will be telling you the same thing. Here it is, here it is, this is so, this is so. Be careful. You require a mentor right from the beginning till the end. That mentor is supposed to be your guru, who will take you with the hand from the earth up to the highest heaven. It is not that the guru initiates you and then leaves you to the lurch to take care of yourself. The guiding hand of the real guru, as you should conceive him properly, will follow you wherever you go, telling you secretly, I am here, I have not left you. The higher soul is your guru, and the guru is your higher soul. How could you expect the higher soul to depart you and enable you independently to move forward? The lower spirit advances together with, simultaneously with, the higher soul, which also is your own self. The higher voice tells you, I am always here. Never will you be deserted at any time. Thus prepare yourself for the art of meditation. Chant Om deeply in a sonorous tone, beautifully in a musical voice, pleasing to yourself, to your own ears, so that the chant vibrates within your personality and energizes all the cells of your body. Chant this Omkara, this mantra for 15 minutes continuously, beautifully, satisfactorily, musically, touching your. What do you feel at that time? The cosmos originated with a central point of vibration, as they call in Tantra Shastra a bindu, a point was this whole universe. Such a vast thing was only one mini atomic point before creation. The whole Brahmanda, cosmic egg, as the scriptures call it, was potentially present in this pinpointed egg like little atomic point which manifested itself in the form of this tremendous, inconceivable cosmos. What happened, we do not know. Something must have taken place. Burst, as scientists call it, Big Bang. What it is? What sound? It is the sound of cosmic Om, not a mere sound that you are producing, a cosmic thunder with a lightning as bright as millions of suns, which expanded gradually, little by little, until it concretized itself into the visible space before you. Space is not an emptiness. It contains the whole physical manifestation of it. It is emptiness to the physical perception. A tremendous vibration again takes place in this cosmic space. And this tremendous movement is what we call air, not the air that we are breathing, but the very essence of prana shakti pervading this whole cosmos, which by the friction that is produced ignited itself into the heat of the cosmic fire. It went on vibrating until it developed a tendency to gradually cool down into the liquid of the cosmic waters, on which we say, according to the scriptures, Narayana sleeps eternally. Apa eva sasarjadau tasu viryam avasrujat, says the scripture. God created cosmic waters first. Say all the creation theories of the religions of the world. The water gets narrowed down in its compass, slowly solidifies itself into the physical universe. तस्माद्वा आत्मन आकाशात् संभूतः आकाशाद् वायुः वायुरग्नि अग्निरापः आपः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्यो अन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः. The Taittiriya Upanishad gives briefly the entire cosmological process. The universal being thundered into the spatial form of existence, and it slowly came down to the physical form of this world, from which manifested plantations, edibles, foodstuff, which formed the body of the human individual. Thus we are born as this person, that person in this world. This is real Omkara, of which our chant is only a symbol It only gives you a picture of what the original is like. Thus chant Om, visualize before your mind this entire magnificent object of your meditation. It is no more a little wooden idol. It is something else altogether. It is a mini incarnation, a Vamana, who can become a Trivikrama Avatara, as we have it described in the Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. Vamana was a little mini human form which was assumed by the Supreme Being himself for a definite purpose. When the time for it came, that many individual certainly expanded itself to the cosmic individual, the Virat Purusha. These are some of the interesting things before you. For starting your meditation, take a deep breath. In the same way as you have chanted Om, so also calmly, coolly, pleasantly, undistractedly breathe in and breathe out. Fill the chest with air. I am not describing to you any kind of nostril holding and kumbhaka and all that, which is not necessary for you. Breathe through both the nostrils easily, but fully, deeply inhaling, so that you feel that the lungs are completely filled with fresh air. If you can hold it for a second, all right, but don't hold it for more than 1 or 2 seconds. I am mentioning to you, I am not telling you what kumbhaka is. Let it go, we don't want it. So this pranayama process, easy inhalation and exhalation may continue for some time until you are settled in your muscles, nerves and the body. At this moment, you will find any posture is good enough for you. Then you have the stages described in the Yoga Shastras dealing with your sense organs, which present before you a picture of the world, even of God Himself, quite differently from what they really are. What is sense perception? What are the senses doing? And where are they? You may think that eyes which see, ears that hear, and so on are the sense organs. But they are only organs but not sensations. You may have sensations without which the organs will not get animated. A dead body also has these organs. It has eyes, ears and all that. But it has no sensation. So the eyes will be open, but there will be no seeing in a corpse. So the seer is not the physical eye, but a sensation of visualization, a form taken by the mind itself. What does the mind do in this condition? The one integrated mind that it really is ramifies itself into 5 different rays as sunlight allowed to pass through the mouth of a pot with 5 apertures at the bottom, will be seen to project itself in 5 different channels. But if the holes are fitted with certain lenses of different nature, different structure and color, etc., the same sun ray, the sunlight, which passes through the inwardness of the pot, will project itself through these 5 apertures in 5 different manners. These 5 different manners of the projection of a single integrated mental process, these manners are called the sensations. So we see color through one sense, sound through another, and so on and so forth. Actually, the basic substance of color and sound and touch and smell, etc., is one and the same. There are not 5 different things here inside us. They look like 5 different things because of the different lenses through which the single light passes. Thus they give a wrong picture of things. If these contorted light rays through the 5 apertures are allowed to project further upon things outside, the seer inside, which is the mind, will see the world of 5-fold perception in a totally different manner than what the world is really. This is what has happened to us. We cannot see things as they really are. We see, we hear, we touch and so on through the senses which are already conditioned by the structure or the avenues of perception, of sensations. We have to practice a process called pratyahara. Pratyahara means the abstraction of the sensory operations and centering the energy of these sensations in the source thereof, which is the mind itself. Difficult is this process. The sensations are rebellious. Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha mayur nava mimambasi. All these illustrations are given in the Bhagavad Gita to tell you how difficult is this method, though it is very simple for you to hear this. Wild elephants, roaring lions, terrible tigers, bursting tornado, cyclone may be compared to the operations of the senses. Apyabdhi panan mahataha sumer unmulanaadapi api vanyasana sadho vishamas chitta nigraha. This is the instruction of Vasishtha to Sri Rama in the Yoga Vasishtha. You can drink the whole ocean. You can shake the root of the Meru mountain. You can drink fire. But you cannot control the mind. Chanchalam Manah Krishna Pramathi Balava Dridham Tasyaham Nigraham Manye Vayoriva Sidushkara. like binding air in a little bag, is your attempt to control the sense organ. Sensations are nothing but desires. They are not connected with physical things, really speaking. Wrongly, we feel that we love things, hate things, want things and do not want things on account of the deceptive operations and the reports of the sense organs operating in this manner. Wild dogs are these sensations. They bark and may attack you also. What do you do? You should not be carried away by the appearance of this tornado of the desire process. Here again, a kind of self-analysis is called for. Sensations, as told already, are only desires manifesting themselves in these five formations. We want five things in this world. We want beautiful things to see. We want melodious things to hear. We want fragrant things to smell. We want delicious things to taste. We want soft things to touch. You have no other desire in this world except this. Though you may think that you have millions of desires, they are only five basically. Now you have to instruct your own mind. Do you want delicious things, beautiful objects, melodious music, soft bed? I think many people in this world may have these facilities. But still they are terribly unhappy people. Beautiful presentations, tasty dishes, melodious music, soft bed, velvet have not made rich people happy. So the senses are telling you something very mischievous. Even if you have all these things, you are still same miserable person even as you were before you had these things. That is to say, these sensations are terribly deceptive and you cannot trust them for a minute. That is to say, you cannot trust what you see, cannot trust what you hear, cannot trust any sensation. They are here before you to pull your Atman out and make it appear like a anatman or a dead object. This living Atman starts clinging to a dead Atman outside in the form of the visible things in the world. Here is the drama of life, the way in which we are living. Tell yourself again and again. By bringing before your mind the experiences that ancient sages and saints also had passed through. They had the same difficulty. They were same small people as any one of us is. They became big because of the understanding they exercised and the success that they achieved in the restraint of the sense organs. When you meditate, you will see a totally contradictory thing just in front of you. You will see there, physically present, not imaginarily conceived, things that you once loved. You will think they are only visions. At that time, they will not be visions. They will materialize themselves. into the form that you liked and loved once upon a time. And the same person will be there in front of you, same treasure placed before you. Here it is. You have left all of us and come. Here we are. Don't say they are illusory visions. They are concrete forms of your own unfulfilled desires. When Buddha was in deep meditation, he saw his wife in front of him, sitting with the little child. He could not say that it was an illusory mental conception because she was speaking. My dear Lord, I am here. You have left me and come. Where is your child? Don't you have pity? Why are you torturing yourself? See this beautiful child. Am I not your beloved? Have you no compassion? Please, 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 listen. Buddha, how this lady has come here? No, Mara, don't tempt me. He told himself, I know very well what this presentation is. It is my own earlier pressure of sense life that has condensed itself into the very desirable object which I loved once upon a time. Break to pieces. Shatter yourself. Oh beauties, he told himself, and regained his personality. My dear master, what are you doing on the hilltop? Here is the treasure of the whole world before you, all the gold and silver. Somebody told Christ when he was doing tapasya on a mountain top. There were desert fathers, ancient saints of crystal lore who lives in the deserts of northern Africa. The Saint Anthony the Great is one example whose life tells us that he struggled with his visions. He saw before him the arms of his beloved, the treasures and the wealth of Roman Empire. They were not visions, they were there in front. It took him to the point of death until he could realize that he had to overcome them. These are not stories of somebody. It is my story, your story, everybody's story. You are the Buddha, you are the Christ, you are Saint Anthony, you are the ancient master in your own self. All these beautiful, grand presentations will come before you as you hear in the Shastras and scriptures that Indra will come with all his retinue and all that. This Indra and the retinue are nothing but mind and the sense organs, concretizing themselves before you, giving a picture of solidity. You have to guard yourself. This is to tell you briefly some of the fundamentals of pratyahara, the restraint of the sense organs. Once you achieve success in this, you have achieved success 90%. Until this is achieved, it is all arduous struggle. It is a struggle to swim across the current of a river in spate. Later on, if you succeed in this attempt of yours, the river will take an opposite turn, and the world, instead of opposing you, will flow with you. A great unthought of joy will take possession of you. Struggle will cease. Enemies will become friends. The material objects will change their color and contour, and all shall be well with you, provided this terrible, very painful process of the withdrawal of the sensations, not merely the closing of the sense organs, is achieved, and the mind is charged abundantly with these energies which went out earlier and sucked the soul of the very mind and made it fickle and uncontrollable. The mind will be yourself afterwards. Instead of your feeling that it is your mind, you are yourself the mind. You will feel a medium of the expression of the Atman itself. Hari Om Tat Sat.